Welcome back to another video. Today is my last day in Thailand. I'm actually packing my bags. Apple and I are flying out of here tomorrow morning, but I needed to get a video out to you guys to adhere to my weekly Saturday morning upload. So, as you know, last week I did some updates from home, and yesterday I got another update from home, and this one I'm pretty excited about. Antaresia papuensis, we got another clutch, but this is not a clutch from the same female that laid last year. This is a clutch of eggs from our other female and a different male. So we got 5 eggs, it looks like. I hope they go the distance because this means that we have completely unrelated babies from what we hatched last year. And it seems like papuensis are going to get a really firm foothold in the hobby. So as you know, we are constantly trying to get new species into the hobby, and yeah, I think things are looking up for papuensis. So that brings me to my next topic that I want to discuss with you guys. So the last week or two, there has been a lot of chatter on social media about wild-caught animals and import animals. I need to explain this to you guys a little bit, at least from my perspective. We have a new reptile online ad site. It's not brand new, but is definitely the youngest one out there, and it's pretty popular. They don't sponsor my channel, so there's really no need for me to give them any promotion, but the new owner is making changes. He seems like he's maybe pushing an agenda. Some of the things that he's doing, I definitely don't have an issue with. In fact, DMExplore doesn't really run ads hardly ever. It's just not really part of how we do business. We don't have to. We have plenty of customers, so I very rarely have to run any ads at all. So whatever he does or whatever anybody does, it really doesn't affect me one way or the other. But the comments that are from the people that are in support of one of this guy's latest goals, I guess, are pretty amazing to me. So let's get into that for a minute. So it definitely seems like there's an agenda to basically cancel wild-caught reptiles. And in reading the comments, there's a lot of people for it, there's a lot of people against it, but the ones that are for it, they seem like they're a little bit confused. They are starting to insert the word imports into their statements, and wild-caught and imports are not the same thing. Let me give you an example. I have a facility, a breeding facility in Malaysia. We breed and produce a pretty good amount of animals, and I import them into the United States. Those are imports, but they're captive bred imports. So wild-caught and imports is not the same thing. If you come to me at a reptile show and you ask me, are these all imports? Well, technically, yeah, just about everything on my table is considered an import because it had to be imported from my breeding facility. So don't get it twisted. Those two things are not the same. So this probably goes out to the new generation of hobbyists. I'm not really sure, but it is pretty clear to me that you guys have forgotten that your captive bred ball pythons and leopard geckos, they all came from wild caught. In fact, there is not one captive bred reptile that did not come from wild caught initially. So as evil as you make that sound, somebody played Satan, somebody worked with wild caught animals, so you could benefit for their sins in captive breeding those. So please realize there's levels to this reptile thing that we all enjoy and take part in. I am one of those guys that puts new species into this hobby. I've put countless new species into the hobby in all my years of doing this. I have like half a dozen new species coming into the hobby next month in June, and I have more I'm already focused on for next year, and I have no intention to stop because I get really excited about new stuff. You guys should also. You guys should appreciate that there's new species for you guys to work with. So you can point your fingers all you want, but I don't have the luxury of buying captive bred from somebody else. I am the guy that has to take the hit that's working with wild caught so you can have your pets. So let's take it back to my announcement of my Papuan spotted pythons. I am working with 2.2, probably the only ones in captivity anywhere in the world. And spoiler alert, they're wild caught. And I'm producing those animals and I'm having success with them. And at some point, these animals are going to make it into the hobby and you guys are going to be able to enjoy them. So for those of you that are really behind this thing, canceling wild-caught animals on an online reptile ad website isn't going to do it. The only way that's going to happen is if you guys get the United States and the federal government to ban importation into your country. Now, I'm in a global marketplace, so all that means for me is that I can ship to 194 other countries. I don't have to send anything to the US, and that's just fine with me. In addition, I can go back to the way it was in the 80s and the 90s where I didn't deal with customers at all, and I just played with my own personal collection, and I have a badass collection to enjoy right now. So it really doesn't matter. So anyway, you guys, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. This is probably why I have no sponsors, because I speak my mind, but it is what it is. And I have a lot of customers. And for you guys, I will see you in Malaysia next week. Going to show you a whole bunch of stuff that's coming to the US, both captive bred and wild caught, and new species that are not in the hobby yet. So that is about it. Thank you for watching. We will see you next week. Take care.